TTT Throwdown!
This week's Throwdown is a 10-minute EMOM, 8 cal echo bike for the guys, 5 for the girls, max thrusters in the remaining time, and your score is total thrusters.
Our demo athlete this week is Lydia Fish. Oh, little fish.
Oh, I didn't know I was in frame of this.
Look at this,
Dang
you're in
it.
frame. Well, you're not even working out, you're just watching. What is this?
Yeah, I know.
You just a bystander
All right,
over there?
Now I'm not in frame anymore.
No, we got a spicy one for you today, folks. I like it.
Yes. So Perrin is here again. She coaches Lydia. And Perrin, you said that Lydia was chosen to do this workout because she didn't want to.
Okay, I asked her if she wanted to do a throwdown. I sent her the whole list, and she was like, I know the ones I want to do and the ones I don't want to do. And I said, okay, well, what do you not want to do? And this was one of them, and I was like, okay, is that what you want to, like, should we do it because you don't want to do it? She said, yeah, so.
Yeah.
That's how the decision
Look
was
at her
made.
maturing as an athlete, doing the things you don't want to do sometimes.
It's also things, these are things we've been working on, so I was like, this would just be a great opportunity to kind of test how you've improved and even testing her resilience on the bike, because a lot of the intervals we have been doing are just echo bike, not necessarily mixed with anything. And I really like the way this was structured, because I would say this falls into the category of, like, you really need to know yourself, because if you go out too aggressive or too like you're not aggressive enough, it can really mess up, I think, your total number in the end. So
What was the strategy going into this?
well, I don't know if this was cheating or not, but I actually did 5 minutes of this workout before she went.
It's not cheating.
Okay.
It's being a great coach and
All right, just
providing helpful insight for your athlete.
Just to
I wish my
test
coach
it.
would do that.
Would that be helpful insight?
No, not at all. I don't think it would help me one bit.
But then she did one whole round, and we kind of came up with a thought that maybe it would be around 10 to 11 reps, or no, I'm sorry, 10 reps. And she did it, and she was like, I think I can start with 11. So that's just a decision we made, and we didn't really know if she'd be able to hold on to that. Because in the beginning, this can also be a trap where, like, the first few rounds are really kind of not that bad. And then it feels like similar to that death by, like, the bebop and rocksteady stuff, where you have less and less time, and you're still trying to stay consistent, ideally, with your number. So what ended up happening, I forget, she's on this third round now. She just chose 11 to start, and in the first round, she finished 11 thrusters at 41 seconds and just took that rest, because we knew as the sets were going to keep going, she would have less and less rest. And it's just one of those things that accumulates, and you almost have to trust it, because I think people get scared that they're going to drop off anyway, and so they kind of need to bank reps in the beginning, which would be a different strategy you could use.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not one I think you would take, just picking probably a set number that you can sustain across the board. And I think a good thing to highlight is that she did a full round, right? Like, so it's giving you a perspective. Like, I think most people are like, I don't want to waste it too soon. I'm going to waste all my good reps, where it's like, you need to do a full round sometimes.
Maybe even 2 rounds of this.
And see what it's actually going to feel like. Because if you do a round, hop back on the bike, it'll probably give you a better cadence of what you think you can hold on the bike, and then it'll probably let you know, hey, maybe I've bit off more than I could chew on the number of thrusters. And then that allows you to, like, actually be able to pick a better target. I think, do you know what pace she was holding relative to, like, her 10-minute or like a 5-minute echo bike?
It was definitely faster than her 10-minute to start, but then it ended up being slower.
Okay, so, I mean, roughly looking at probably a 10-minute pace, probably equivalated to that. I think for me, mine's around 500. So that's something where, like, I knew I could probably sustain that. And then
500 watts?
Yeah, and then just hopping off. I'm not an RPM guy. I'm a big watt guy.
It's too many digits for me.
Yeah, I like it.
I think something
makes me feel like I'm accomplishing more when I see
that's
so many
going to
numbers.
become more and more difficult in this workout, and I think it did for her. And this is something that, like, when we did the triangle progressions, was one of the hardest parts for me, is the ramp up of the echo bike. How fast you can get it above your working pace, which I think she was trying to get it, like, up to 70 to start, and then she would let it fall from there, which I think is smart, especially since you're coming off of a little bit of a rest there. But that's going to get harder and harder with each round, so it's going to take more and more out of you, and then you're going to have to decide, is it worth it anymore? And if it's not worth it, then you know that you're pulling away from your rest afterwards. So just, like, mentally be ready to deal with that change as you go through the workout.
Yeah, that's also something we've been training, like doing a lot of echo bike intervals where she's playing with different gears. So it's like, a minute RP3 and then 20 seconds at RP9 and then a minute RP3. And so kind of toggling back and forth, because one of the hardest things for her is ramping it up when she's tired, especially in some of these workouts where you're doing 30, 40 echo bike cals at the very end. If you cannot get that up to pace quickly, you just lose so much more time.
Yeah.
So she just finished her 5th interval, right? And she was at 46 seconds. So she's already down 5 seconds of rest from the beginning.
Yeah,
But you can definitely make that up from the ramp up.
Yeah,
if
for
like
sure.
you do kind of sprint pretty quick, and I don't think people realize how fast you can lose that. I think I've always noticed it in the open workout where it was 19 wall ball, 19 cal row, and it was the back and forth for 15 minutes. I don't think I really realized it until like almost like that point one time when we were doing it, and the transition point of like how long it took to get the row pace up, lost like 45 seconds to a minute at the end of the whole workout. We're like, oh, that's a lot of cals. I could add it up.
Yeah, if you're biking, say you're trying to average a 65 RPM, but it takes you 16 seconds to get there, you're not averaging a 65 RPM. You're probably averaging like a 61. So just keep that in mind. That's why I think it's really important on the Echo bike to overshoot your pace to start best you can. Of course, that's going to like fall off a little bit as you get more and more tired, but practicing that in training is very, very beneficial, especially for women, because the ramp up, to me, a good ramp up, if I execute it well, is like 8 seconds, which is still a pretty long amount of time. Guys can get up
like
to their
5,
pace
yeah.
much faster. So the Echo bike is a little bit different between men and women because of that, since there's no damper difference.
Another thing she started to do as she got tired was kind of cruise like the last calorie, which in some instances you would probably tell someone not to do that because they're losing time. But in this case, when you have to go into the thrusters and you need to keep that cadence, I think having a little bit of reprieve, because she's already at 64, 65 RPM, it's going at that rate, so she needs less energy to keep it going. Just taking it back for a second, and then she just puts her hands on the bar and goes. But that ends up being like really, really challenging to do, because this was like so dense on the legs, yeah.
And her rest time has been cut in half already from the beginning. And that's not because she's doing anything wrong. That's just how this workout is.
Like, there's going to be drop off. But I also think thrusters is one of those movements it always hurts. It doesn't matter how much you do it. Like, it's always going to be uncomfortable. You pair it with an Echo bike and it just gets 10 times worse. But I mean, she does a really good job. Barbell's close. It's literally straight off. Hands are down to the bar. And I think that's something from the cadence wise you got to be able to do. Just like put your hands on it. Even if you do need to go 2 sets, that's fine. But like, get your hands on the bar as fast as you can. Do a small set, take a break, and then go again. But I mean, her squat speed even here is
so that's
really
something
fast.
that we talked about before the workout when Perrin tested it out, was doing 2 sets. And after Perrin tested it, I don't know if that's really realistic, because I think if someone needs to do 2 sets, their bike pace is probably too slow to allow them to have the time to do 2 sets.
True. Yeah.
So, I mean, someone out there prove me wrong, but I think it's going to be a difficult
I'm gonna go
one.
do it and just do it in 2 sets just for fun.
No, you're not. You don't break anything.
You're right. You're right.
When we were done this workout, we were talking about how much better she could have potentially done if she redid this. And it's always an easier conversation when you're done the workout and it's over in hindsight. But one of the things I did mention was pulling the bar into the bomber squat maybe a little bit faster. Like, as you get tired, you just want to pull it up kind of to full extension and then start your squatting. But it is possible, I think, maybe some of these sets she could have squeaked out another rep, and probably more in the beginning when she had more opportunity for rest. Like, we were just saying, where do we think we could get one more thruster without there being a big drop off at the end? It'd probably be in either that first round or that second round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think sometimes it is like you do just have to kind of like go a little deeper than you want, knowing like, all right, it's 10 minutes long. I can do this. I'm going to get some rest, but you add that one extra rep over the course of the entire workout.
Change it.
That's a big difference, though, of like even feeling like even if you had 1 calorie on like a Miko's progression, like how much harder that 1 calorie seems. Same way like here, like that one. Just do 1 more thruster.
So she's held 11s this whole time.
This is the last round.
Yeah, fish.
And in this round, she does do 2 sets, which is the opposite of what I just said. But the difference is there's no transition. She doesn't need to rest for the next interval, right? So she already knows that she has 10 more seconds that she can be on the barbell in this interval.
Yeah, and
whereas
to me,
right now
that
she'd
wasn't
be
even
getting
really
back
a break,
on the bike.
right? Like that was I don't even know what she did with her wrist, but like
Her
just
forearms were cooked.
get this off and then be able to still keep the fast turnover.
Yeah, she said she dropped that bar because she could feel her squat speed slowing down, and she still had enough time that she felt like it would just get slow, like too slow, and maybe even go to failure. I mean, I've seen people fail thrusters at this weight before.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
definitely happened.
So she banked 14 in that last round. So 113 total, crushed it.
Way to go, Fish!
Nice
She's a
work,
big fish
Lydia.
now.
Bravo.
Actually, my shoulders were giving her first set.